Hello, welcome to Greg's Channel 1. I'm Greg, this is Channel 1. So, this is another show that I'm going to be reviewing alongside The Animals of Farthing Wood. There's a third show that I will be reviewing at the same kind of time. Haven't decided on it yet, but it will be coming next week. And then we'll be back to The Animals of Farthing Wood. Then we'll be back to this, so on and so forth, until each show ends. And then something else will replace it. That's my plan at the moment. That's what I'm hoping to go for. Right. Now, this is a show that was on Netflix in 2017. And it's a Netflix-owned series linked with TV Tokyo. It's one of their collaborations. It's called Million Yen Women. Now, the trailer for this really got me hyped because it had so much in the way that the music was used, the way that the characters seem to kind of just, I don't know, they all seem to be looking like they're all going to be important parts, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Okay, so, in 24 minutes, this is everything that episode 1, The Mysterious Million Yen Women, brings to the table. And just as a fun fact, for those of you who are British and watching my channel, 1 million yen equals £6,771.45. Now that 45 pence is the important bit if you're British. And if you're not, I haven't checked any other currencies. Sorry. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about the episode. So it opens up and you've got this dining table. You've got 5 women, 1 guy. This one guy is our main character. He's our main protagonist, our main male lead, Shin Mishima. And he is sat there and he's surrounded by these 5 women. And one of the first things that you can see is the naked back of one of them, which is Minami Shirakawa. Shirakawa? Yeah. Bang! Nailed it. And she, very, very confident with not wearing anything. That's something that you find out quite easily in the episode, and she don't care if you don't like it. Interesting start. I got no complaints. They're all saying, "Oh, we shouldn't." Yeah. What's her name? The youngster Midori. Midori. His initial response when they're eating their stew is, "Oh, what you going to call it?" Because they're all complaining about the fact that he's not very good at making stew for them to satisfy them all, because they've all got an issue with it. And he says exactly what I probably would have said in the situation. It's hard satisfying all 5 of you with the same, because you've all got different taste buds. Yeah, they all look at him like he's just farted and left the room. Never mind, Shin. Let's hope the rest of the episode goes your way, right? But, yeah. Cute kitty is what Midori was referring to. And they all start throwing names out. Tama, Azuri, Sasori, something else. Basil. And then they go, "Oh, it's not responding to anything we chose. You choose something, Shin." And he names the cat. Cat. I mean, that's one way to name a cat. A cat named Cat. The cat is kind of cool. He gets little scenes where he's just trying to tear up the carpet. He's clearly aiming to be the main protagonist if there's a second season. Anyway, let's get back onto the main focus of the episode. Shin is not a very successful writer. He hasn't really released any good novels out, and he's quite a likable character. I really like Shin as a character. Something that I was not sure how I felt about, and I'm still not sure how I feel about, is Shin gives a bit of narration, almost internal monologuing. And then you've got other characters all speaking to him, and he's responded to them normally. And so it's very much, are you going to be a narrator for us, or are you going to try and mix the two that it works? Because it kind of works here, but I don't know how well it's going to work later on. This is 6 months after they all moved in with him. Right, so that's all madness, because this is a lot to take in, and we're not even 5 minutes in with all the stuff I'm telling you. Okay, so he introduces himself. I'm Shin Michima. I'm a novelist. And 6 months ago, these women just started showing up and moving in with me and paying me money to stay with me. What the hell is happening? Is his initial response. And I completely agree with that. These women are very different, which I quite like, because it shows that he's, all of these women are different and they all are unique characters. And hopefully they develop all 5 of these characters over the course of the series, so then every single one has their identity, and you can feel for every single one for all the different parts of the character. That's what I'm hoping over the next 11 episodes after this one. Okay, right. So they mentioned that an invitation, and you're there thinking, okay, invitation. What invitation? And you later find out that they were all sent invitations to move in and live with Shin, which he didn't know about. No problem with me, that it's very much one of those kind of okay. And then I saw something that made me smile. A fax machine! Yeah! Does Japan still use fax machines? Because if so, that's cool. That is cool. That is cool if Japan still use fax machines, because I think they're pretty neat. Okay, so there are rules. Shin explains the rules that there are for the 5 women living with him. Okay, rule number 1. He can't ask any questions of the women. And he finds that out before the cat is named, when he says, well, what did you used to name your pets when you were kids? And they go silent. And then he's told by Midori, I believe it is, that it's against the rules to ask us questions like that. And he apologizes, and he explains about the rules. Okay, so rule 1, Shin can't ask the women questions. Rule 2, entrance to the women's rooms is prohibited. Rule 3, everyone must eat dinner together. Rule 4, Shin must look after the women. And the final rule is each month the 5 women pay Shin 1 million yen as rent a month. Whew. Now, to be honest, if I had to pay £6,771.45 a month, I'd need a bloody good job in the UK. I'd need to be doing very well to be able to pay that a month. Either that will be from a very rich family. Anyway, moving back on with the story, fax machine starts just pumping out a fax, and it just says, die. I'm like, that's a bit harsh. What the hell? But it's also getting me thinking, someone clearly doesn't like Shin and is sending him messages to, pretty much, target him, which is going to be quite interesting over the course of the series. Right. You then get there's another fax later on that says, your life is pointless. And one final fax right at the end saying, murderer, go to hell. We'll come back to that later. So, we get a flashback where we're introduced to how all the women showed up out of bloody nowhere. And to be honest, his response is exactly how I would respond. If you just walk in, there's a girl just sat there, and he doesn't click her. Gets over to the kitchen counter, and it's then that he's like, huh? Turns around and is scared because where the hell does she come from? This first one was Hitomi Tsukamoto. Okay, so let's, something that made me laugh though is when she steps up, he asks her, "Can I call the police?" What? I'd have just called the police there and then and be like, some random girl has somehow walked into my house. What the hell? Instead, he asks her, Can I call the police, please?" What? Okay, let's continue on. And we're introduced to Hitomi Tsukamoto, Minami Shirakawa, Yuki Kobayashi, Nanika Hiraki, and Midori Suzumara. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, so it was nice seeing Minami with her clothes on. That's cool. But she doesn't like the altar, which is linked to Shin's mother, which is something that you find out a bit later on, right near the bloody end of the episode. Okay, so Shin's mother is dead. He looks after the shrine of his mother. Okay, Mr. Sakurai, who is another character. So many characters that are introduced in this episode. It's so much to try and take in. I'm not complaining, but yikes, I've never had to do so much thinking in my life just to try and keep track of everybody and everything that's happening. But they do kind of make Shin quite likable, and I really like him as a character. He's 31 as well, the character. I'm like, what? You look very young for 31. And he says that the reason he doesn't have a cell phone later on because he goes to a comfort club, which is kind of like a sex shop, maybe. It's like a shop. It's like a club where you have a woman look after you and comfort you and make you feel wanted, I guess. Guessing it's something to combat depression over there. I don't know, but it's kind of interesting because it gives you an insight into Shin in the fact that he's chosen this same woman a few times now, called Hotaru. And she's like, "I want your cell phone number," and he's like, "I don't have a cell phone. I don't even have a computer." And she seems to think he's lying, but you can tell that he's not. Because you'll find out later that he's a very bad liar. He comes home after doing the shopping and after spending his time with Hotaru. And it's Midori literally questions him and goes, "You smell like soap." And he goes, "I went to a sauna after I went shopping." And you're like, well, that's a terrible lie. Well, nice try, mate. You need to work on your lying ability. And she sees right through him. You get a bit of intrigue with Minami. She seems to be going somewhere and you don't know where. I'm guessing to her work, but she seems very, very suspicious. Like she knows more than she's letting on. Jeez, there's so much. There's a bit of foreshadowing in a dream sequence when Shin is writing and parts for his novel because he's trying to get to Mr. Sakurai as much of his work as much as he can, as quick as he can, and so on and so forth. And by gods, I can't help but really feel for this guy because in his dream sequence, he seems to be foreshadowing some guy with a knife, blood, coming for him. And it's LinkedIn, and here's the spoiler for the end. His father is on death row. And the man that he saw in the dream sequence is his father. You found, and right at the very end, he's with Yuki Kobayashi. And she asks Tetsuyuki. Anyway, Mr. Mishima, your father, that's who he is, isn't he? And he's like, yeah, doesn't want to talk about it. And then he says, and then he explains, because she says, he's on death row. To which Shin explains, his father is on death row for killing his mother, her lover, and the first police officer who came on the scene. And he's terrified of seeing his father again, because his last line is one of his last lines is, tomorrow is the day that I see my father. And by God, this moment, he sat at almost like a it's like a meeting area where he sat at a table. There's a plastic glass in front of him. The door opens. The man steps forward, and you just see the look of fear in Shin's face as he comes face to face with his father. Yeah, so much to try and remember in this first episode, and I'm hoping that the second episode is a little lighter. But I'm guessing that because it's 24 minutes long, they're trying to cram as much as they can in. Yeah, very, very strong first episode. It's something that I'm definitely going to continue watching, even if by the end I don't enjoy the show. By the end, I'm going to continue the show, finish it, let you know my opinions, and let you know if I recommend it. On this first episode, I would definitely recommend watching this first episode, as long as you're okay with reading subtitles. Wow, okay, then, have you seen it? If you've seen it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, comment, do the thing, share, etc. Do the stuffs. See you in the next video. Don't know what it's going to be. You'll have to wait and see. And keep an eye out, because if you're in the UK and you watch BBC, you know that Line of Duty is on its way back. And I love me some Line of Duty. So thank you again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.